Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Wizbit's Random Gaming. Now this week we're heading down to not so sunny Southend, where I met up with a whole bunch of other content creators so we could go out, search for some video games, and at the end of the day check out Astro City, a retro arcade that's just around the corner. Now before we get into the video, if you haven't already, please take the time to consider subscribing to the channel. Share the video, hit that like button, leave us a comment. It's all that good stuff that helps with visibility for my content. Also, don't forget, smash that bell notification. You'll know as and when I'm uploading new content. So the meeting place on the day was Southend CEX. As you know, it is the focal point where we're going to all be looking for some video games on the day. Now there was a whole bunch of us down there on the day. I'll leave links to everyone that attended on the day's individual socials, such as their YouTube, or if they're not on YouTube, such as their Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you check all of them out. They're all quality content creators in their own right. Now it was a little bit difficult on the day to do my normal type of video, really, where I'm scanning the areas, checking out the stock. There was just so many people to talk to. So I don't focus too much on the stock in CEX as much as I normally would, but we're also going to head down to Baso, which is just a few shops down the road as well. And they've always got some quality retro stocking. Now there's a fairly expensive game on the PlayStation 1 there, Star Ocean. Looks in pretty good condition, to be honest. Not my cup of tea, not something that I'm going to be looking to add to the collection. Not anytime soon anyway. Now here we have the Dreamcast Nicotine Limited Edition. It looked a lot worse in person than it does come across in a video, I can tell you that much. GameCube games here, we've got Fire Emblem, we've got Zelda. Fairly popular titles and fairly expensive as well. Decent selection of loose cartridge based stuff here. Now I don't really collect for this sort of era. I would love to, I just don't have the room. Small section of various Sega games here for various systems as well, and a very small section of Dreamcast along with some PlayStation 1. I wouldn't mind adding a few more Dreamcast games to the collection, but I don't know, I'm quite picky, I'm quite choosy about what I'm going to be buying for it. Now, just on the left-hand side there, you would have seen that cracked control deck in mint green. I've actually got that one. I bought it for around about £50–60 from Argos in a sale. A £40 boxed, I tell you, that is a game changer. If you want a way to play your Nintendo Switch in handheld mode, I highly recommend you pick one of those up. At that price as well, £40, I don't think you can go wrong. Now that is a really nice colour Xbox there. Although I'm not going to be paying £100, I've seen similar on Vinted and eBay, and they go for quite a bit cheaper. Now as I said, there was a little opportunity to do my standard type of video where I was alone. So I'm having a look at the Wii U section here, as I am going for a full set at some point, hopefully this year. Now what I will say is what you see here isn't necessarily a representation of what was in stock on the day. I managed to pick up a number of Wii U games that I needed, but you'll have to wait till the end of the video to see what they were. So checking out the Wii section, pretty much fodder in all honesty, so we'll move on pretty quickly over to the PlayStation 3. Now on first scan there wasn't anything really that I liked the look of or that I needed. I did double check later on as I went back to the shop, and yeah, there really wasn't anything that I was interested in today on the PlayStation 3. It's a real disappointment that the section for the PlayStation 3 seems to have shrunk as well. Now, sections that aren't getting smaller in CEX shops is that of the PlayStation 4. Despite the PlayStation 5 being out for a number of years now, the PS4 sections are still absolutely massive, and understandably why. You would imagine with the amount of units that were sold of the PlayStation 4 and the fact that the PlayStation 5 is pretty much backwards compatible with every PlayStation 4 game, there's a real call for those games still. Pretty standard fare over on the Xbox 360 as well. I'm really looking for sort of obscure games here. Now, this was one I was looking at as well. I don't see this cover variant too often. However, upon closer inspection, it was a pretty beat up. Pretty small section of GameCube. GameCube stuff is getting harder to find in your standard CEX. Again, similar to the PSP, not a great deal here. Surprisingly, we've got more Xbox OG stuff here than we have with the GameCube and the PSP. Shout out to Roger Retro, aka the Retro Hulkster. He picked up a game that looked quite interesting. I'll let him bring that up on his video. But when did this game become £22? Now, another section that seems to have shrunk over the course of my visits to this particular branch is that of the PlayStation 2. Now, I did see one or two games in here that really did interest me, so they definitely went into the maybe pile. So yeah, check out the end of the video to see if I picked any PlayStation 2 stuff up. There was definitely a couple of things that have been on my list for some time, but do I pull the trigger or not? So yeah, even though I did pick up a few games from this particular branch, there was nothing really to write home about on a lot of the sections here. You can see the 360, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4, and even the PS5. It was pretty much a standard fare in all honesty. If you was looking for a particular game and you was going there on this day to pick it up, chances are you're going to get it. But if you're looking for some obscure stuff on those particular systems, yeah, you're probably going to be out of luck. Now, even the Nintendo Switch section was really disappointing as well. It's one of the systems that's still currently in its current generation, shall we say. Even though the Switch 2 has been announced, it's still Nintendo's current flagship system, and I'm actively collecting for it. I love the Switch, I love collecting for it, but it's getting very difficult to find those sort of games that I'm after, particularly in CEX. Now, don't get me wrong, they do stock them. You've only got to look at the app, but it's getting to that particular shop and finding that game you want. Anyway, a couple of shops down the road, we're going to check out Baso. Now, Baso, there's a lot of these based in London where they normally focus on games, mobile phones, PCs, but this one has a real focus on retro stuff at the back of the shop. So we'll check out the stuff in the window and then I'll show you what they've got in stock at the back. Some real great stuff that you just don't see anywhere else. I mean, look at these 8-bit micro games here. There's one game in particular I was real tempted to pick up. I just don't know what I'd do with it. And that is it. It's Chiller there from Mastertronic. One of my favorite childhood games growing up on the Commodore and the Amstrad. Who remembers Clumsy Colin, aka Skip's mascot from the 80s? No? Okay, must be just me. Right, let's have a look at this retro stuff that they've got at the back as well. Shout out to the owner of the shop as well. He said that he would talk to anyone as well and look to match prices and potentially beat CEX as well. I think he saw a whole group of us in there and thought, yeah, there's money to be made here. And fair play to him for doing that. That's how it's done. What a game that is. Super Aleste, £100. Got Thomas the Tank Engine there. Now I was with one of my boys on the day and he questioned me. He said, Dad, why is Thomas £75? I just stared blankly at him. I just don't know. Didn't want to lie to him. Always nice to see a good selection of Master System stuff as well. Now, how much does that Mortal Kombat on the Master System stick out like a sore thumb? Everything else on that system is pretty much a white spine, but that one has to buck the trend and change it and go black. Some great Sega Mega Drive stuff here as well. You've got the Master System converter, various Mega Drives. Most of them were boxed as well, and they was in pretty good condition when you consider how long ago they were released. Fantastic array of Game Boy handheld systems here as well, and I can tell you they was all in really good condition. Nice to see a lot more variation in the Dreamcast section as well. Not much on the GameCube, however, although I am looking to pick up one of those freeloaders at some point. Turtles in Time there look lovely from a distance, but the closer you get, it's a repro, but at least they advertise it as such. Now, I was tempted to pick up that Capcom versus SNK there for £20. I do have a Japanese Dreamcast, so it would have been quite easy to play it. But yeah, I decided against it on the day. I've got it on so many other systems. Not really sure I need it. Now, a really good selection of PlayStation 1 stuff here. And I do pick up one PlayStation 1 game today. Now, that Metal Gear Solid, unfortunately at £115, was far too beat up for me to even consider. Now, one of the more desirable PlayStation 2 Slims there, the pink one, not for me, but yeah, it definitely holds its value, that one, whenever you see it out and about. Now, look at this beast here, one of the originals, one of the classics, and in really good condition as well. Now, over on the lonely OG Xbox shelves, not really much to write home about, but then it's hard to find OG Xbox games these days. Similar with the PlayStation 2 stuff, but a couple of great ones in there. Def Jam Fight for New York, and here's one that you don't see too often, Altered Beast. Reasonable price, £37. I've got this one, I paid around about 40 for it, but on eBay I see that going for a minimum of 50. Between that and maybe what, 80 to 85. Now, I do like that PlayStation 5 control pad there. The all clear pearl one. Really nice, although I can imagine it doesn't... it must get dirty quite easy. I'd be quite scared to let my kids use that. Now, I've never seen this Batman Arkham Asylum limited edition, collector's edition before. Looks pretty nice. I haven't got room for that sort of thing, so really wasn't interested, but definitely something that, you know, might appeal to collectors with more space in their household. Now, one of the world's brightest control pads there. I really quite like that. Unfortunately, it is a wired control pad. I've got no interest in wired control pads. As much as I like retro stuff, I've totally moved on from wires on control pads where possible. So let's head down to Astro City, which is just down the road. We can see Marathon Gaming there, playing some Mortal Kombat with Roger Retro's son. And here's my boy Archie, doing quite poorly on the old hammer game. Roger Retro's son is about to take over and show him who's boss. On the way home, I told him, you need to bulk up, son. Always next time, Archie. Always next time. This is how it's done. Definitely got his dad's genes, this boy. Now, so here's a few of the gang here playing some of the light gun games. Shout out to Retro Ed, pretty much the organizer of the day. What a great guy, down to earth, and always a pleasure to meet up with you. Now, Astro City isn't a bad arcade. Last time I came down here, it was £12 for 2 hours. But for some reason today, it was only £6. Maybe they saw me coming last time. Retro Hulkster there, playing some Fast and Furious, I think. I do love his choice of hairstyles. We have great taste, my friend. We have great taste. Now, these games here, whilst not in the original cabinets, they held a multitude of games such as Street Fighter, Track and Field, Sonic. Although Sonic, strangely, was on a timer. Now, I'm posting this footage because the last time I visited this arcade and I filmed it, the last time Archie kicked this ball, he actually went head over heels because he just couldn't kick it enough. Now, I had to have a go at this after these guys, and yeah, I did beat Archie on this one. Should I have let him win? Yeah, possibly, but there you go. Tough love, kid. Tough love. Now, I was never going to leave this arcade without playing this Rambo game for some time. I'm a huge Rambo fan. Even the last one. I loved The Last Blood or whatever it was called. I thought it was brutal. I thought it was stupid. It had a terrible storyline. I loved every minute of it. And yeah, I made sure I played this one for ages today. Now, one of the disappointing things about Astro City was a lot of the games were not serviceable. A lot of them weren't working as they were intended to, unfortunately. But at £6, I guess you can't complain. Now, I'll tell you something. After playing this, and it was on a timer, you got 40 seconds to do the first level. Who on earth thought Sonic was fun with a joystick? I'll tell you now, it's not. Shout out to Nick there, Nick Berry. He was definitely hustling on the day. It was like watching Paul Newman in action. And here's Archie looking quite embarrassed once he sees me capturing him on film sitting in this embarrassing chair. Here he is trying to redeem some credibility by playing this game. You done well, son. You done well. So anyway, as I said, I picked up some Wii U stuff today. 4 games from one shop. Now that is something you don't find every day. So we picked up Resident Evil Revelations, Deus Ex. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but if I'm not, it is what it is. Now I don't see these 2 games too often when I'm out and about, so I'm really happy to add these to the collection. Yeah, I must be on around about 76, 77 now. I need to double check. I'm probably going to do a video on my Wii U collection in the near future for one of my Thursday videos, Wizbit's Random Topics. And another 2 here as well. Fodder really, but they need to go into the collection. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, and Call of Duty Ghosts. 2 games I highly doubt I'm ever going to play, but yeah, needs must, so they've got to come into the collection. Believe me, there is worse games out there that I'm going to have to spend quite a high amount of money on in order to finish that full set. I'm looking at you, Zumba, and I'm looking at you, Hello Kitty Cruisers. Oh yeah, and Barbie. So I did say that I picked up some PlayStation 2 stuff as well. I picked up Blade 2. I've been intrigued by that game for some time, and I also got Resident Evil Outbreak. Now from Baso, I picked up R-Types on the PlayStation 1. I love R-Type. I'll pretty much pick it up on any system that I can, and at £20 and in good condition, manual, complete, I thought that was a pretty good deal. So I'm quite happy with my pickups today. So all in all, it was a really good day. I got to meet a lot of new people, got to see a lot of familiar faces, and it's always a good time when you meet up with each other. Anyway guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be leaving links to everyone that attended socials in the video description below. We're in the process of organising another one fairly soon, and that could end up in some sort of arcade bar. So that one could get quite messy. Anyway, like I said, thank you for watching. Take the time to consider subscribing if you haven't already. Smash that like button, leave us a comment, share the video, and make sure you hit that bell notification. You'll know as and when I'm going to be uploading content on a regular basis. My schedule is Monday and Thursdays, but I do drop bonus content throughout the week. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.